I told my husband I didn't need him. The words slipped out effortlessly, almost thoughtlessly. I convinced myself I was being honest, that I was simply expressing a feeling I'd carried for a while. I never imagined he would actually hear them as a verdict, a reason to leave. But that's exactly what he did. He left, without hesitation, without a backward glance. Now I sit alone in our home, staring at the empty spaces where he once belonged, haunted by the realization of how far I let things spiral. When I first met James, he felt like a grounding force in my whirlwind of chaos. Calm, patient, unwavering, he was everything I was not. I was impulsive, restless, always seeking the next thrill, the next challenge, the next adventure. James, in contrast, brought balance, steadiness, and peace. Together, we were a perfect pair, two opposites that somehow fit together seamlessly. In the beginning, our marriage felt unbreakable. He championed my ambitions, and I celebrated his. But as time passed, my admiration for his steadiness twisted into frustration. While I chased new experiences and goals, James seemed content with life as it was. At first, I convinced myself that his calmness was a blessing. But slowly, it began to feel like a constraint, a cage I could not escape. I resented his predictability. I resented the quiet evenings at home when I wanted spontaneity. I resented the simple routines that he cherished, routines I saw as monotonous. I didn't notice how much I had taken for granted until I found myself craving more than what we had built together. It wasn't any single event that caused the fracture. It was the accumulation of little frustrations. I wanted adventure. He wanted tranquility. I wanted to dream big and discuss the future. He wanted to exist in the present. My desire for excitement clashed with his desire for peace, and the tension built silently until it erupted one evening over something trivial. I suggested a weekend trip, a small escape from the ordinary, and he refused. His refusal wasn't harsh, it was practical. But it ignited something in me that I could no longer contain. "You're so boring, James," I snapped, louder than I intended. "I don't need you. I can handle everything on my own." The words hung in the air like a verdict. I thought I was venting my frustration, letting off steam, but it was deeper than that. I was exposing a part of myself that I hadn't confronted, a selfish part that believed I didn't require him, that I could thrive without his presence. Instead of arguing, instead of pleading, James stood up calmly. His gaze was distant, almost unfamiliar. Then, softly, he said, "If you don't need me, maybe it's time I leave." I thought he would return. Surely, he would leave briefly, cool off, and then come back. But he didn't. He packed his things, walked out, and didn't answer my calls or messages for days. I apologized repeatedly, begged him to come home, swore I hadn't meant it, but he was gone. I was left alone with a quiet home and an unbearable emptiness. His absence wasn't just a lack of presence, it was the absence of shared meals, of morning coffee, of the comfort of knowing someone had your back. I tried to fill the void with work, social events, distractions, but nothing could replace him. In the silence, I understood how deeply I had underestimated him, how thoughtlessly I had dismissed his value. I had sought excitement and novelty at the expense of love, stability, and partnership. I had assumed I could live without him, that I could outpace the need for a steady presence, but I couldn't. And now, I stand amid the wreckage of my own pride. James, the man who had been my anchor, the one I criticized as dull, had walked away with quiet dignity. I am left with regret, with questions, and with the realization that some mistakes cannot be undone. I don't know if James will ever return. I don't know if forgiveness can bridge the gap I created. But I do know this. One careless word, one thoughtless moment, can change everything. I told my husband I didn't need him. And now, in the hollow aftermath, I know just how wrong I was.